Just talk to me about the decision initially to accept a plea deal in all three cases.
This negotiation had been in the works for a number of months. I was retained on his case, which was one at the time, in February. I began a dialogue with Christopher Hamner. Through the course of time, through the various court appearances, the motions that were heard, we arrived at this negotiation that was consummated late yesterday afternoon.
It's interesting because when the news came through yesterday, Jara and I were speaking and we say, well, why drag this on for as long as he did? Why not just admit guilt from the start?
You know, it's a natural process. I mean, to get a man that's charged with as many serious crimes that he was, we had to do our due diligence. I mean, we brought in a national expert. We reviewed the evidence. You know, in addition, his wife was an integral part of that. You know, obviously when a person is looking at entering a plea and accepting a prison sentence, they have to be able to live with themselves and their family in the fallout. Because when it's really all said and done, it just turns out to that person who has accepted the plea and his or her loved ones. And that was the process.
When did he start hinting at you that this was the route he wanted to take?
I wasn't certain until it was signed and filed yesterday. Mr. Menon is a bright man, educated, fairly accomplished. It is and will continue to be a very difficult decision, but he and he alone can make that decision, and he decided yesterday that it would be better to suffer the lesser of two evils and enter a plea and do a substantially less amount of time than he was facing.
You just said he was a bright man. A lot of people don't necessarily agree, specifically the images of children on his devices, recording people in private. What can you say to that?
You know, there is images that constitute child sexual abuse material on a lot of computers. Many used computers contain that type of material. It's pervasive. Most of the images in his case was in what's called unallocated space, which is mean it had been deleted and had not been accessed for some time.
But he had downloaded them and put them on his device?
By operation of his plea, he accepted the possession, whether it was constructive possession or actual possession of those images.
And you said by entering this guilty plea, he's going to be facing a lot less time in prison. If he would have not gone this route, how much time could he have been facing?
Technically, he could have been looking anywhere between 41 and 51 years on the bottom. There were a lot of counts. I mean, this case started as one case, and then there was a second case with a superseding indictment, and then a third. This negotiation wrapped all of those up, and he's looking at a 4 to 10 year sentence.
Would you say that there was a particular piece of evidence or a moment in one of your proceedings that in a way shifted the strategy that you guys had been going with?
You know, oftentimes when I'm defending cases, it's you know, you're wearing more than one hat. I mean, you may be wearing one hat as the negotiator and then the other as a litigant or as a litigator. There wasn't one specific step, piece of evidence, or a particular hearing that culminated in this global negotiation. When an offer is often extended, there's an expiration period. The offer had been extended and discussed for a couple of months. We were reaching the point, basically the proverbial fork in the road, to whether we negotiate it or see it through to the very end. And I think that, if anything, culminated in this global resolution.
Time was running out.
It was.
I remember too, from the beginning, you all had been claiming that Menon was possibly targeted for speaking out about things that were happening within the Metro Police Department. In any way, did that change the guilty plea or the strategy in that sense?
That's obviously, and it was in pleadings, so I'm not disclosing any confidential information. You know, every organization, Metro included, has its bad apples. That, in our belief, was the genesis of the initial investigation, but then that investigation grew into other areas and ultimately resulted in facing, 49 counts? So.
Yeah, it was just one thing after another, essentially. Do you believe that LVMPD's internal process contributed in any way whatsoever to how things unfolded?
Potentially. In his prior pleading with Mr. Gentile, they had laid out the whistleblower status that he had occupied. He had gone to the Attorney General's office to make a complaint concerning racism that was within the department. Obviously, when you do something like that, you make enemies. However, again, the evidence is the evidence. He had to face the charges regardless of how this investigation began.
And how things would have unfolded.
Correct.
A lot of people would say, well, maybe what he did specifically with the abuse of power stuff would change the way that police officers are viewed, the trust in law enforcement. What's your response to that?
Well, police officers, they exert a great deal of force, authority, power. They should obviously be held to a higher standard. They should answer and be held to answer for wrongdoings. There's nothing wrong with that. That's in a civilized society, we should have our, police held to a higher, answer to a higher authority and held to a higher standard. I think we're getting better, though. I really think we're getting better.
Mr. Menon was a sergeant with LVMPD. He held a pretty high rank within the department, yet all of these charges come out and he's accused of, like I said, the explicit images of children, recording people without their knowledge, abusing his power. This is somebody that's been hired to protect the community, and in a way looks like he did the opposite of that. What do you say to that?
Well, I would say that played a part in arriving at the negotiation that we did. Obviously, in order to arrive at a negotiation, there has to be a meeting of the minds, and I'm certain that the position that he held played into the district attorney's overall view of the evidence and what an appropriate negotiation would be.
How are you feeling, or how is he feeling after yesterday's announcement?
I haven't spoken to him since yesterday. I anticipate him seeing him soon. As part of this negotiation, he's receiving a release on his own recognizance with electronic monitoring as a requirement. I anticipate he'll be out today, and I'm sure we'll sit and talk.
And then we wait until August.
August 4th is the date of sentencing.
Do you anticipate that anything will happen from now until then? Any appeals?
I don't anticipate anything happening other than him putting his affairs in order, spending time with the family that loves him, and preparing to serve the sentence that we agreed to as part of this plea negotiation.
And give those details about the sentence, how long it's going to be.
It's a 4 to 10 year prison sentence. The plea involves 5 felonies and 3 gross misdemeanors. Most of the counts run concurrently, but 2 of the counts run consecutively. So there'll be 2 counts of a 2 to 5 and a 2 to 5, and that's how we have the aggregate sentence of 4 to 10 years.
What do you say to the community that's been following this case, people that have been outraged by what they've seen?
Oftentimes people will see a news clip and they'll reach a judgment. It's easy to judge, it's difficult to really think. In this case, there was many more layers than is readily apparent. Like I said, he's a good man. He's faced serious charges. He is going to put this behind him, and I would anticipate have a very productive future.
How often are those types of settlement conferences?
The Supreme Court put this settlement conference practice into play. It was meant to try and alleviate the backload that had been created as a result of COVID. I'd only tried 2 cases during those 3 years. I find these settlement conferences to be very effective. You get a neutral, uninvolved judge, whether it be a sitting judge or a senior judge, and they act as a third party. These settlement conferences are confidential. There is not a court reporter as you generally see in the courtroom. Anything that's discussed in those settlement conferences are not admissible at subsequent hearings. Obviously the court systems are there to resolve disputes between parties, whether it be between private parties in let's say a contractual dispute, or between the state of Nevada and the defendant accused of crimes. I believe in these settlement conferences wholeheartedly. I've probably had 20, and roughly half, maybe a little over half of the cases that I've gone to these settlement conferences concerning have resolved.
And with regards to the counts that he actually is pleading guilty to, how did you guys land on those specific counts? Because he was facing so many.
Mr. Hamner had wanted this negotiation to reflect a number of charges that were in the original 3 indictments, and that's how we got there, basically. You know, of paramount importance to us was his exposure, you know, the time. We wanted certainty. One of the other advantages of this settlement conference is when a negotiation is entered into, the sentencing court has one of 2 choices. It either sets it aside, the guilty plea gets set aside, and we start anew, or the judge follows through with the negotiations. Absent a settlement conference, a judge is free to sentence the defendant regardless of what the negotiation is, and occasionally they do.
And if I read the docket correctly, I think Judge Israel is also going to preside over sentencing.
Yes.
And I know there was that whole motion that was brought up regarding his daughter. From the outside looking in, I think he's impartial. But for someone who could say, well, could he be vindictive against Menon in sentencing because this was brought up?
I've been appearing in front of Judge Israel for a number of years. You can say a number of things about the man, but I don't believe that he is a biased judge. My co-counsel and the earlier counsel in the case that I came in on yesterday felt that he had an ethical obligation to file that challenge, and he did so. But I am comfortable with Judge Israel sitting as the sentencing judge in this case.
And then I think my last question for you is reading the agreement. It said he has to have a psychological evaluation to be eligible for probation.
That is correct.
In prison, or being in jail in general, seems like it's very difficult on your psyche. What are your thoughts about him going through this evaluation?
I anticipate that he would have no problem going through that evaluation. The way in which this case is structured, there's not going to be a probationary sentence. In order to qualify for a probationary sentence, and that's out of the child porn counts, there has to be a positive. The person cannot present a high risk to reoffend. So that component to this negotiation will not have any bearing on the sentence that he receives, because as part of this very large global negotiation, he agreed to a prison term.